Hey guys! The time has come in Beauty Beacons where I'm finally going to talk about Marie Antoinette. So, for those of you who don't know, which I can hardly imagine, Marie Antoinette was the Queen of France in the late 18th century, and she ended up being beheaded in the French Revolution. Marie Antoinette was Austrian born and married the future King of France. When she came to the French court at Versailles, she was very young. She was 13 years old and she didn't yet know a lot about French customs, so when she arrived she really redefined what fashion looked like. She came with all new, fresh ideas and started a bunch of new trends and fashions that hadn't been around much before she arrived. So it didn't take long for her to become a style icon and for the ladies of the court to follow her lead when it came to hairdressing, makeup and clothing. In fact, sometimes her ladies-in-waiting even received her clothing. Marie Antoinette wore 3 different dresses on a day. She would wear a separate one for mass in the morning, then she would wear a more relaxed gown throughout the day, and then a giant, elaborate, typical 18th century gown in the evening for dinner and going out at night. And since, like today, back then it wasn't really cool to wear a dress more than once, she would often give away her dresses to her ladies-in-waiting, because what else would you do with them? It is also said that Marie Antoinette made her closet public so that people could come and take a look at all of her dresses, which she had loads and loads and loads of. Now, although Marie Antoinette is known for her very opulent style, it is said that she actually preferred a much more modest fashion. As far as this goes, I think she was just born in the wrong age. The extreme opulence of the 18th century and then, you know, going to Versailles on top of that, there isn't really a much more extravagant place you can end up at. And even though she personally preferred a more modest and simple style, she had to go along with what was fashionable in Versailles. So although Marie Antoinette didn't invent the poof hairstyle, it was she who very much popularized it. Ladies started wearing this hairstyle pretty much following her lead, and something that started out pretty small then grew to more and more and more giant proportions. If you want more information on 18th century hair and hairstyling, I have a whole entire video dedicated just to 18th century hairstyling, and I recreate an 18th century hairstyle in that video using kind of a authentic styling method, so you can check that out if you are interested in that a little bit more. But today we are focusing on Marie Antoinette. So there is one more thing I want to say about her hair, because ladies in the 18th century, especially at court, they didn't usually have a lot of political power, but of course they had their own opinions. So often what would happen is that ladies would use their hair, Marie Antoinette did this as well, they used their hair to express themselves and also to sometimes express political views. Kind of in a way that we would wear a printed t-shirt nowadays. It's a very passive form of expressing oneself. She would often use allegorical decorations in her hair to, you know, symbolize certain political situations that she wanted to express an opinion on. So let's move on to the actual look. This is what I went for today. I loosely based myself off of a painting of her that I found. So as for the makeup, in the 18th century very heavy makeup was used, but Marie Antoinette looked pretty natural in all of the paintings that I saw of her, so I decided to go off of that. And I started by applying a very light base. This is the lightest foundation that I have. It is a BB cream, in fact. And I'm just going to apply that all over my face to make a smooth canvas. And then I'm going to go over with a even lighter concealer, and I'm going to use this to highlight my face as well. This is just going to enhance that kind of fair-skinned look. So then I'm going to powder everything off with a translucent powder and then go straight over with a white face powder just to make myself even paler. So next up are the cheeks. I'm going to take this bright pink blush and I'm going to apply this in a circle on the apples of my cheeks. And this was a shape that was very popular for blush at the time. And don't be afraid to apply this pretty heavily. And then I'm just going to use a similar shade on my lips, and I'm using a lip stain just because it is matte and it looks the most similar to what lip products would have looked like back then. And there's the makeup look done. Now that was really easy, but now we have come to the hair. This is very time consuming, let me warn you before we even start, but in case you want to do it anyway, here's how to achieve this look. I started by taking a lot of volumizing hair mousse and applying this all throughout my hair. Pretty much what I'm trying to do here is create a kind of a sticky, stiffer base for my hair, so I'm using a lot of this mousse, and the fact that it's volumizing really helps, you know, because we're trying to get huge hair here. So when I doused my hair in mousse, I blow dried my hair upside down to again enhance that volume and, you know, start to build a little bit of that vertical shape. Okay, time to build some height. So first I combed my hair forward, or I kind of combed it around my head from my crown, because there is where I'm going to place my cushion. Now, in my 18th century hairstyling video I used a couple of socks, but for Marie Antoinette I want to go way higher. So I took a scarf that I have and I just rolled it up and sewed it so that it kind of formed a roll, and I placed it on my head and I pinned it down to my head. If you have something lighter that is similar in size, I'd suggest to use that, because the scarf is pretty heavy and it does make for a little bit of a wobbly effect, but you know, it serves the purpose. So I pinned this to my head using some sturdy clips, and then it's time to start teasing the hair. There's no way around it, we're going to tease the hair like crazy. So I started by dividing a section and then just teasing it like there's no tomorrow. Tease it so that it pretty much stands up on its own. And then I pinned it to the top of my scarf. So I'm going to do that all around my hair. So then I separated out two pieces at the nape of my neck, and these are going to form my little love locks, as they are called, the curls that will go in front of my shoulders. And when I've completely covered the scarf, I'm going to go in with the first layer of hairspray. So I'm just going to spray all over this thing that I've created, and then I'm going to go over with my first coating of powder. Now for powder I'm just using plain kitchen flour, nothing too fancy here, it's just we're going for that really powdered hair look from the 18th century. So I'm just using a makeup brush to kind of dust some powder onto my hair, and then I'm going to go around my head again and do the same thing. So take a strip of hair, back comb it, pin it to the top of my scarf, and then when I've made a second round, I'm going to again hairspray this and powder it off. Okay, it's time for the final round of teasing. So I'm going to go once again all around my head and take all of my hair that is remaining, back comb it and pin it down to the top. Or pin it up actually. So for all the hair that is remaining at the top of my head, I decided to make this into a little bit of a French twist to the side, but it doesn't really matter because this is going to be higher than anyone you'll meet, so no one's going to be able to see the top of your head, and this is very likely to be covered with some ornaments later anyway. So once again, hairspray this and powder this, and this is the last time we're doing that. So then it is time for false hair. Ladies in the 18th century used false hair in their hair to create little curls and everything, and so did Marie Antoinette. She didn't wear wigs, but she did use some hair pieces here and there. So I'm going to take a strip of hair extensions and roll it around my fingers to create this roll, kind of curl roll, and then I'm going to insert a bobby pin on both sides to kind of fasten the roll. I'm going to make two larger ones and two smaller ones and then pin them to my head using the clips from the extensions, and then I'm going to just put some bobby pins in there as well to enforce this so that it doesn't fall down. So then of course you want to powder this as well to make it blend with the rest of your hair. And now all that remains is to curl these little pieces at the bottom, powder them off, and then decorate the hair. Now this is the part where you can go absolutely crazy. It is said that Marie Antoinette at some point wore an entire ship replica on her hair. I'm not entirely sure if that's true, but may well have been. So literally you can use anything that you like. Popular things were feathers, definitely feathers, the larger the better. Flowers, pearls. I've used some pearls and a rose here in my hair and some feathers as well. Yeah, pretty much anything you want. Now as for clothing, if you're trying to, you know, look like Marie Antoinette, go for the most extravagant 18th century gown that you have. Make sure you have to walk through the door sideways because your dress is so large. That is not my ambition today, so I just wore this dress that I already had in my closet with a little bit of a baroque print. But yeah, this is the most similar thing to 18th century fashion that I could find. But yeah, if you're actually going for a Marie Antoinette look, I'm sure you can find something a little bit more appropriate. But there is your Marie Antoinette look done. It is not the most practical look, I have to admit, but then again, it's not like those ladies had that much to do throughout the day. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe for more Beauty Beacons videos because I have loads more coming. And also don't forget to comment down below which beauty beacon, historical beauty icon you would like me to cover next. So I want to thank you so much for watching. Again, really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you very soon in my next video.